shine so bright, beaming in the night. Lay down your worries, you are not behind. I know how it feels to wonder why you're not where you want to be in life.
Hey y'all, welcome back to PalominoIntuitive. Thank you all for joining me on today's reading. Excuse me. My name is Star and I'm an intuitive reader, and I like to bring you all pick a card or pick a group readings to help you on your spiritual journey as well as your self-awareness journey. So on today's video, we're going to be looking into what are the root causes of your insecurities and how to overcome them. Okay, so usually I record the intros before I actually get into the readings, but I actually wanted to re-record because I'm actually done doing the readings. And today's reading was very deep and it was very emotional. Okay, so I just wanted to give a more clear intro and just kind of put a warning out there. This is not the reading that you want to watch when you're surrounded by other people. This is not the reading that you want to watch with your friends. If you guys are just looking for some entertainment, this is a reading that you want to watch by yourself when you have time to watch the entire thing. If you're a sensitive soul, you might want to have your tissue ready. You might want to have your journal ready. This is a real reading. Okay, all of my readings are real, but this one, if you notice, even the time is a little bit longer than my usual readings, and we just got very deep and we got very emotional. We touched on some touchy things. So I just want you all to be prepared for that. And this reading is genuinely for healing purposes. And I want you all to take this reading seriously. Okay, so without further ado, of course, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that YouTube stuff. But just to go ahead and get into the selection, for group 1, we have peppermint oil. For group 2, we have eucalyptus oil. And then for group 3, we have rosemary oil. All right, so feel free to pause the video if you need more time to choose your pile. But we're just gonna go ahead and get into it, okay? So I will see you all at group 1. Hello, group 1. Thank y'all for joining me. So as always, your cards have been pre-shuffled, but I haven't looked at them yet. All right, you got 2 oracle cards here. And we have your tarot cards. Now, usually I always do 3, but with you all, I felt called to pull 4 tarot cards, and then we have 3 clarifying cards for those. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into what is the root causes of your insecurities. Okay, so first we have the Strength card in reverse. Already feeling something here. Next we have the 9 of Wands. Okay, next we have the 3 of Wands, and then we have the 8 of Wands. Okay, so kind of what I'm getting here, I feel like you all, there's literally all fire energy here. And I feel like you all, first of all, were not given enough attention as a child. So I don't know if your parents used to, like, for some of you, I feel like your parents used to work really long hours. And that's why they weren't able to give you as much attention as you deserve, just because they were always busy trying to make ends meet. Your parents might have been the type of people to have, some of you were raised by single parents, so that's why your parent had to work really hard, because there was only one income, and so your parent might have always worked overtime or had multiple jobs. Okay, but even if you did have 2 parents, I feel like your parents just were always, might have been always busy, and that's why they didn't have time for you. Like, I feel like your parents kind of didn't have time for you. Like, it's not that they just didn't care at all, but it's just like they didn't have time for you. And for others of you, I feel like you might have had a parent that was struggling with their own mental health or like an addiction or something like that, to where like they just did not have the capacity to give you the attention that you needed. And so you kind of, as a child, felt like partially that it was your fault, or that like you just weren't good enough for their attention, and it made you like insecure, because you felt like, if my own parents aren't giving me attention, or if my own parents don't see the value or the worth in me, then how could I expect anyone else to? Okay, I also feel like you're someone who is always very creative, very bubbly, very playful, very energetic. And even when your parents might have given you attention, they were just very like their energy was very different than yours. Like I said, you might have been really energetic, and you might have had parents that always wanted you to sit down and be still. This group, you guys might have been diagnosed with like either ADHD or ADD or ADHD, or you might have just always been like as a child told that you were just too hyper or that you just had too much energy. And this is part of the reason why you're insecure as an adult, because as a child you were just always made to feel like there was something wrong with you, or that you were too much, or like the people around you didn't have enough to give you. Okay, so there was just like some type of lack of my heat just cut off, so I know you guys could probably hear me a little better. There's just like always some type of lack surrounding you and your emotional needs. Okay, and I feel like because of this you had to kind of be a bit of a loner, especially as a small child. I feel like when you maybe got a little bit older, you became kind of social and you might have found people to spend your time with, but even still, there's just still always this part of you that just feels, there's kind of like a loneliness. And you give me like the kind of person who could be in a room full of people and still be lonely, or like you might have a lot of friends technically, but like you don't necessarily feel super connected to anyone or feel like anyone really truly understands you. And this is really due to like your childhood. So it's not that there's anything wrong with you. Okay, and that's the key that's going to help you to overcome this. There's literally nothing wrong with you here. It's just that the people around you or the adults around you in your childhood, they either were too consumed with their own lives or like their own job or their own mental health or addictions to really pay as much attention to you as you deserved. And they also misunderstood you and just did not have the energy to keep up with you. I really feel like even if you might have been diagnosed with like ADD or ADHD, for some of you it could be also autism. Whatever, for those of you that have been diagnosed with something, whatever you were diagnosed with, like it never made you any less intelligent or made you any less aware of what was going on. It's just that it made you different, and it made like the adults around you have a harder time being able to understand you. And so instead of them trying to take the time to understand you, because again, there's some type of lack of time that they had here, or lack of their own mental capacity to give you the time, they just labeled you as something. They labeled you as maybe a troublemaker, or like I said, too hyper, or you know, they might have felt like you had a learning disability, when in actuality you just needed more time and more attention paid onto you. Okay, so for you all, I feel like what's really going to help you to overcome this is to have kind of a compassionate and an empathetic approach to the adults that were in your life. And it's not to say that you have to just like excuse their behavior, but when I say empathetic, I mean, now that you're an adult, like being able to understand that it was not it was not you, you know, and just being able to understand that, you know, your parents might have been going through their own struggles, or they didn't have time, or they just didn't understand. And when you can do this, it might help you. For some of you, you might hold resentment towards the adults that were around you at the time because of how they treated you. And for a lot of you, I feel like having that empathetic mindset will help you to forgive these people, not for them, but for you, so that you can move on in life without feeling like you were the problem, and without holding on to resentment or any bitterness. Because I feel like there is a part of you that's still angry, and you know, you definitely have the right to be, but I feel like you don't want to be. Like, you're not naturally an angry person, and you don't feel better about it by being angry. Your anger is just kind of, it's how you feel, but I don't think that that's how you actually want to feel, or how you want, like the type of energy that you want to carry around with you. Okay, I also feel like a way for you to overcome this is to start seeing yourself from a different perspective, and stop working against yourself and start working with what you have. Because I feel like this image here is giving me the image of the sun. Okay, also with all this here, also with all, like I said, all this is fire energy, and we have the Leo energy here. I feel like you're someone who is meant to like tell your story, and I also think that you're someone who's meant to do a lot of creative things, and you're meant to, I feel like, make a lot of money and have like multiple streams of income. The way that your mind works, other people might have labeled that like as a disability or a disadvantage, but I feel like you have some type of perspective that will allow you to be something in life that other people may have a really hard time doing. And I see you expanding out of the mentality that like you're dumb or you're unworthy or that there was something wrong with you. Once you start to like accept that there was nothing wrong with you, it's going to give you the confidence boost that you need to expand. Because I feel like for a long time, like you've always felt like this sense of weakness, or like this sense of that you're always having to be on guard, or you're always having to protect yourself, or you're always having to defend yourself. And once you let go of that and realize that there was never anything wrong with you, and that like you were always worthy, it was just the people around you who had their own issues, and you kind of take off that, it's kind of like taking off the backpack of like their opinions, it's gonna allow you to feel more confident in yourself and to finally do the things that you wanted to do. Because I feel like you do have some type of creative skill or talent or goal in mind that you would like to achieve in life, but there's been some type of, the blockage has been that you don't feel like somebody like you could do that, because you, like I said, you've always been told that there was something wrong with you in life. Or even if you weren't like verbally told that there was something wrong with you, you kind of, people showed you through their actions and through their neglect that they felt like something was wrong with you, or that they didn't have time for you. And I feel like you're really needing to kind of reparent yourself and nurture yourself, boost your own self-esteem, and give yourself the time that you felt like the adults around you or your parents didn't give to you. Because at the end of the day, we can't go back, obviously, but you can. Every day is a new opportunity to start over, and you don't have to continue carrying all of these labels that were put on you, or the way that your neglect as a child made you feel. You're an adult and you have the power now to nurture yourself and to build your own self-esteem and to believe in yourself regardless of what kind of childhood you had. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into your clarifier cards. The first card that you have is the Two of Swords. Next you have the World in reverse. And then lastly, you have the Six of Cups. So yeah, like I said, this definitely is coming from your childhood and the way that you were neglected or told that there was something wrong with you a lot as a child. And it really has, I feel like you also are very sheltered because not only for some of you, like your parents may have worked a lot, and they may have also been strict. So you grew up very sheltered and you just really didn't get the chance to explore a lot as a child. Like you might have been the kind of kid who wasn't allowed to go to games, or wasn't allowed to go to parties, or wasn't allowed to hang out after school and things like that. So I feel like for part of you, there's like a type of social development that you missed. And there's just this sense of like, I kind of feel like you kind of feel a bit childish for your age because you just didn't get the chance to experience and develop in certain ways. Definitely socially, but also in your own sense of self-esteem and your like sense of who you are. I feel like other people have always tried to tell you who you are and like what you can do, or like there's just always been someone else telling you, I feel like, who you are, what you can or cannot do. And now you're at an age where you're old enough to make your own decisions, I'm getting with this Two of Swords, and you want to expand. And this is the way to overcome your insecurities, is to make that decision and to expand and to explore the world. I feel like there's a part of you, like, even though you kind of feel a bit immature in life because there's things that you haven't experienced, I also feel like you still need to tap into your inner child. And again, there's nothing like, again, when I first started this, it's like you have this very bubbly, energetic, playful energy, and some people might look at that as immature, but this is actually one of your strengths. Especially once you make the decision to go out into the world, it's gonna electrify this part of you even more. And like I said, I feel like you're someone who's meant to tell your story. And I feel like some people that might look at you and say like, oh, you're immature because you're so bubbly and playful, there's other people that really love that about you and that will really gravitate towards you because of that. And they love your playfulness. You're someone who brings light into people's lives. You're someone who knows how to make people laugh. You're really funny. You like telling jokes. You're also a very compassionate person. Like if you're around somebody and they're you can tell that they're sad, and like you might be the kind of person, like let's say you're around someone who's upset or who's sad or whatever, and you can just sense their energy, and you might ask them if they're okay. And even if they say yes, and you can still tell that they're really not okay, you don't try to dig into their business or try to force them to tell you what's wrong, but you might go out of your way to make them laugh or to make them smile because you can tell that there's something wrong, and you you want them to feel better, and you use your happiness and your playfulness to do that. And you really are a light in the world. And I see you with this world card in reverse. I see that right now. Part of your insecurity is also like your maturity, but I feel like you're gonna mature in your own time. Like with part of this, what I'm getting is that you're definitely moving on your own time, and you need to allow yourself to explore, and you need to allow yourself to become comfortable with who you are and not feel like, you know, any type of learning disability that you had, or any neglect that you went through, or any social development that you missed on. Don't allow that to make you feel like imposter syndrome, like you're not someone who deserves to have a happy life, or that you're not someone who deserves to be who they want to be, or to explore in the world, or to travel, or take adventures. Okay, for some of you, you may want to part of your insecurity, part of overcoming your insecurities, I feel like, is either, if you still live with your parents, moving out. I feel like you've already been thinking about, if you still live with your parents, I feel like you've been thinking about moving out for a while, but you just have, it's not even that, I feel like it's not even that you don't have the monetary, like you don't have the finances to do it. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, again, it's like your parents or your upbringing or whatever made you feel insecure about your ability to be independent, like, in your ability to take care of yourself. Like I said, I feel like some of you may have been diagnosed with like either, you know, autism, ADHD, or ADD. And because of that, people have always just made you, people never really gave you responsibility, or people babied you a lot in life. And like I said, you just grew up very sheltered, and people always thought that there was something wrong with you. And you're old enough now to make your own decisions and to go out into the world, and you will be safe, and you will be able to take care of yourself. You're not dumb at all. Like, you're very intelligent, actually, and you're very calculated as well. I feel like, I just think that you have a very bubbly, playful, energetic personality. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I keep wanting to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. Like, I feel like it's important for this group. I'm feeling like daily affirmations are important, and one of the affirmations that you might need to constantly remind yourself of, especially over maybe like the next 6 months to a year, is reminding yourself that there's nothing wrong with you. Because I really heavily feel like this group was made to feel like there was something wrong with you. Like, there's something preventing you from being able to have a normal life, or there's something that's preventing you from being able to be independent. And like, I feel like that was a lie. Like, I feel like people really just honestly misunderstood you and labeled things onto you because of the fact that they were not willing to take the time to understand you. Okay, so I just keep feeling this need to remind you that there's nothing wrong with you. You are very capable of being independent, of being mature, of being an adult, and of expanding and exploring and traveling, and, you know, living on your own, or maybe going to school out of state, or like traveling. Like, you're a very capable person. Okay, and I truly think that your insecurities, the root cause of your insecurities, is your childhood, and of how the adults around you labeled you and misunderstood you. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your oracle card. The first card that you have is chakra cleansing. By clearing your chakras, you open yourself up to profound wisdom. So yeah, I feel like you all really need to kind of, there's like this releasing that needs to happen of everything that you were, like your childhood. Like, I think that you all need to spend some time really like journaling. And like I said, definitely you need daily affirmations. You all have to spend, I would say, probably the next, in order to overcome your insecurities, I think you should spend the next at least 6 months to a year just really focusing on, releasing all of the internalized beliefs that you have been told throughout your life, releasing all of the labels, all of the misunderstanding, all of the doubt that other people placed onto you, and really like rewiring your subconscious mind to truly believe that you're capable. Like, because I feel like there's a lot of there's just a lot of baggage that's in your subconscious mind stemming from your childhood that's kind of blocking you. And it's not like, I feel like you've been experiencing that for a really long time, to the point where it's not gonna be like an overnight switch where like you watch this reading and then tomorrow you're like, yeah, like I'm ready to just move out today, or I'm ready to just go explore today. Like, it's gonna take time for you to really start to actually believe with 100% conviction that there's nothing wrong with you. And so I feel like for the next 6 months to a year, you should really just focus on reprogramming your subconscious mind, and really journaling a lot, being honest with yourself about how you feel about things, or like what people have said or done to you. And again, daily affirmations. If you have the financial means, you might even want to look into therapy and look into talking to someone about it. If you feel comfortable with me, you could book a reading with me every now and then to like remind you. But I feel like you definitely want to take some time to really overcome your childhood and like, again, like all of the labels and judgments that were placed onto you, because I see that this is the root cause of your insecurities, and it's going to be a journey for you to overcome. Okay, so let's look into your next oracle card. We have let go of guilt. When you allow yourself, when you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. So yeah, I feel like there's a part of you that, especially as a kid, you felt like it was your fault that like people misunderstood you, or that people treated you a certain way, or maybe you were isolated, or for those of you where like your parents had to work really hard in order to provide, you might have felt like their lives would have been easier if they never had you. Or for those of you who had a parent with a mental health disorder, or like addiction, you also again might have felt like your parents' life would have been easier without you. I also feel like for some of you, your parents actually did guilt trip you, and like your parents did just flat out tell you that things for them would be easier if you weren't there. And so I feel like a lot of this has led to like your insecurities and like overall just self-worth issues. And it's really, again, like I feel like you need to spend a lot of time releasing all of this and really like acknowledging it, bringing it all up to the forefront, talking to someone about it, journaling about it, and spend your time releasing this and reprogramming your mind. Because I just feel like whoever raised you, I don't want to just say that they did a sucky job, because I feel like, that's kind of rude, but that's kind of how I feel. I feel like whoever raised you just honestly like didn't deserve you. Like they allowed their own insecurities or their own issues or whatever. They just really took it out on you and made you feel like you were the cause for their suffering. And that was not true. Okay. For those of you with like some type of learning disability, this is also how your teachers could have made you feel, or your caretakers just made you feel like you were a burden, or that you were making their lives harder or more difficult, or anything like that. Like I feel like people really made you feel bad for even existing. Just like a trigger warning, I'm gonna say something that's kind of a touchy subject. I feel like this group might have thought about suicide a lot as a kid, because people just really made you feel like you were a burden to them. Like people made you feel like they would be happier if you were not here, and you might have gone through suicidal thoughts as a child because of this. And my heart really goes out to you, and I just keep wanting to tell you that you are enough, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're worthy of being here. Like you're here for a reason. A lot of people have made you feel like crap, but at the same time, like I said before, like you're a light to people. Your playfulness, your energetic energy, your different perspective and way of thinking, there's people that love that about you. There's people who you bring up their day, like you make them smile and you make them laugh, and without you they would have gone through life being a lot more sad and being in more of a negative mindset. And when you came into class, or when you spoke to them, or when you smiled at them, you changed their day, whether they said it to you or not. Like you are a light for real, and like you really inspire people. You bring joy to people. You deserve to be here. Okay, I really feel the need to tell you that you deserve to be here, because I don't even feel like, for anyone in this group that may have dealt with suicidal thoughts, I don't even feel like you were suicidal because of your own sadness itself. I feel like you were suicidal because you felt like, still like you just being so compassionate, like you really felt like other people's lives would be better if you weren't here. And like that really breaks my heart for you. Like you don't deserve that. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cherished. You deserve to know how important you are and how capable you are, and that you are here for a reason. Okay, and there's people who really love you and who really benefit from you being here. Okay, even me doing this reading, I benefit from you being here. If no one else will tell you, I benefit from you being here. Okay, and I just really kind of getting emotional, because I really you did not deserve what you went through. I really want to tell you that you did not deserve that. Okay, and I really want you to know that you deserve to be here. If no one else will tell you that, you deserve to be here. Okay, So let's go ahead and pull one more oracle card for you, group number 1. Never underestimate how special you are and how needed you are in this world, group number 1. Please. I know that you've been through a lot, and I know a lot of people have made you feel like crap or made you feel like they didn't love you or they didn't, like you were a burden to them, but those people did not deserve you. Those people were not even worthy of your presence. You deserve to be here. And those people lied to you and they took their own pain out on you, and it was not your fault. It was not your fault. Okay. Let's see. Group number 1. What is the root cause of your insecurities and how to overcome? All right, so you all have Brahma. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this card to you from the book. God of creation, it is time to create. Brahma, the creator of the universe and all beings, has come to you with the message that now is the time to bring that idea to fruition. What is the idea you've been sitting on but you haven't taken action? Now it's time to plant that seed into the earth and water it with your intention so it sprouts to life, benefiting all those around you. Brahma's rosary symbolizes the time cycle through which the world moves from creation to sustenance, from sustenance to dissolution, and from dissolution to new creation. Which cycle are you on? Okay, so again, it's like you have a purpose in being here, and there's something that you want to do. I feel like for a lot of you, you want to tell your story. So for some of you, it may be in the form of writing a book. Some of you want to start a podcast or a YouTube channel. Some of you are artists, and like maybe you like to tell your story through visuals or through photography, through a film, through painting, drawing, whatever it is, fashion. Yeah, like whatever it, some of you want to write children's stories and like make like a fictional story that's based off of your life. I feel like you guys might really enjoy superhero movies as well, and like maybe you want to create your own superhero or something like that. Whatever you want to do, it's definitely time for you to start creating that, and it's time for you to start releasing your past and healing yourself from, you know, the childhood that you had and all of the neglect and pain and negativity that people pushed onto you, because you have this beautiful gift. You are a gift to the world, first of all, but besides, like, you have a gift. Like I said, it's some type of creative ability or talent or way that you express yourself that is a gift, and your gift is ready to be shared, group 1. Okay, so I really hope that you all enjoyed this reading. And again, I just want to let you know that you deserve to be here. There's nothing wrong with you. You are capable, you are intelligent, and you are a light, group 1, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. That's all I have for you. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any more readings. And if you feel comfortable, leave me a comment down below letting me know how it resonated with you. And I will see you in my next reading. Bye. I love you. You deserve to be here. Hello, group 2. Welcome to your reading. Thank y'all for joining me. So as always, I always had to clear my throat. But as always, I pre-shuffled your cards, but I have not looked at any of them. We got 2 oracle cards here. We got your tarot here. You all got 4 cards instead of 3 for your tarot this time. And then 3 clarifying tarot cards. So let's just go ahead and look into what is the root cause of your insecurities and how to overcome them, okay? So first, you all have the 6 of Pentacles. Next, you have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Next, you have the King of Wands in reverse. And then you have the 10 of Cups in reverse. So for this group, I feel like you, have, so honestly what's coming through is like a narcissist. Now, I don't know if the person in your life or whoever this may be in reference to is actually diagnosed with like narcissistic personality disorder. But I feel like this person is a narcissist, whether they've been diagnosed or not. I feel like you grew up with some type of narcissist in your life. that like I feel like this person only showed love through material things, and they were very emotionally unavailable. Not only were they emotionally unavailable, I feel like this person withheld from you like intentionally, and like let you know that they were withholding love from you. I feel like this is the kind of person who like you hate, like I feel like you hate asking, like as you're in your present adult life, you hate asking people for things because in your childhood you were always like, things were always held over your head, or you were like expected to owe something for any type of help that you received, even though this was your parent. With this being the king here, I feel like of course this might have been a masculine energy for you, so it might have been your father. But some of you, I feel like this is where this was a also with the Ten of Cups, that's making me think that. But for some of you, this also may have been like a relationship that you were in, like an ex. For some of you, you might have even had children by this person, so it might be like your ex, but like your baby father. It doesn't have to be a man. Like for some of you, this could be a female, like it could be your mom, or if you're, you know, your ex is a woman, it could be them. But I just am getting a masculine energy here for most of you. I feel like this person took joy in hurting you, and took joy in knowing that like you craved their love and that they were withholding it from you. And so part of your insecurities is like you feel, I feel like you definitely have trust issues. And you're the kind of person where like when someone is nice to you, or when someone is genuine, or when someone offers you help, your insecurity is that you don't believe it's real. Like you have a very hard time. It's not that you have a hard time seeing the good in people. You have a hard time believing that people are good. You have a hard time believing that someone could really love you without any strings attached, or that someone would really want to help you without expecting anything back. And I feel like you are the kind of person where you love people genuinely, and you help people without expecting anything in return. But you have a really hard time believing that this same thing could be given back to you. You might have also been gaslit a lot in life, and like talked down to. I feel like there are some things in life that you never pursued, such as like relationships, but also maybe your career that you really were interested in, because this person, whether it was your father or an ex, always told you that you weren't capable, or that it wouldn't work, or that it was unrealistic. I feel like you have trust issues and abandonment issues as well due to this person. This person might have like constantly said they were going to do one thing and then did another, or they would like say really crazy things to you, and then later on when you brought it up, they would be like, I never said that. Or they might do the opposite as well, where they would like, you know, lash out at you saying that they did tell you something when they never told you that. I also feel like this person gave you a lot of responsibility that wasn't yours. So for example, especially if this was a parent, they might have made it your responsibility to take care of younger siblings, or to do things for them. Like I feel like you felt like you were this person's bitch. Like, excuse my language, but I felt like at some point in your life you felt like a slave, or like you were this person's bitch. Like I really feel like for some of you for some of you, a small percentage of you, I feel like this was an ex, but for a lot of you, I really feel like this was your dad. Like straight up. And I feel like part of you has not even really wanted to accept the fact that like this is who he is. Like regardless of whether this is like your dad or your ex or whoever, like, because of course this is a general reading, so take it how it resonates for you. But I feel like you still like love this person to the point where like part of you didn't even want, I feel like now you've accepted it, but I feel like for a long time you didn't even want to accept that like this is how they really were. Like I feel like it really, like you try not to think about it, but it really deep down actually hurts you when you realize and you accept the fact that this person found joy in hurting you, because you would never do that. Not only would you never do that to this person, but you would just never do that in general to anyone. And having to deal with this person and realize that some people genuinely lack empathy and lack compassion, that realization alone and that fact alone really hurts you. I feel like for you all to overcome your insecurities, you have to accept the fact that you have to accept this person for how they are, because I feel like a lot of it, for some of you, you have accepted this already, and this is kind of just like a reflection for you. But for others of you, you're currently in this and you're still dealing with this person. And part of the reason why it's hard for you to get over your insecurity is that there's a part of you that still feels like you did something wrong in this, or like that you're the reason why this person acts like this. I feel like this person blames you. I feel like this person, sorry, just 1 second. I feel like this person purposely treats you like crap and then will flip the script and make it seem like it's your fault for their behavior. Like this is the kind of this is giving me abusive energy. For some of you, the person has never like physically harmed you, but for a lot of you, or maybe majority of you, I do feel like this person has put their hands on you before, and like they're the type of person that will literally physically abuse you and then say that it was your fault because you made them angry or because you did something that they didn't like. And for a long time, like, you might have thought that that was true when it was never fucking true. This person is just a narcissist, and like I said, they find joy in hurting others. This person was probably grown up in a similar situation. Maybe if this is your parent, maybe one of your grandparents was a narcissist, because a lot of times, you know, grandparents are really nice to the grandchildren, but we don't even tend to know like how they're a lot of times grandparents can be really nice to the grandchildren, and so you might think that like your grandparents are really sweet and innocent, but if your parent was to tell you like how your grandparent treated them as a child, you might find that the story was actually quite similar, or maybe even worse for them, and that led to them becoming like this. You know, sometimes like hurt people, or like people that have been abused turn into abusers because they never healed. And so instead of them deciding, hey, I went through this and it was so painful, I never want anyone else to experience that, and I'm gonna make sure that my kids don't have to go through that, or like I don't become that kind of person. Sometimes people go through abuse and they don't heal, and it just makes them become apathetic, and so they end up just wanting to be the person on the other side. Instead of them wanting to end the abuse altogether, they just want to become the abuser, and they want to become the one that now has the power to do it to someone else because it was done to them. Okay, for a lot of you, I really feel like this is a parent. Like I said, for a small percentage of you, it may be like an ex or someone that you were in a relationship with, but for a lot of you, I really feel like this was your parent. And for some of you, those of you that where it was, some of you it's both. Like some of you, your parents did this to you and that's what made you think it was normal, and then you went out and got into a relationship with a narcissist because you were so used to that type of treatment, and again, like you thought it was normal. Like your parents probably abused you, and so then it led to you being in a relationship with an abuser because that's just what was familiar to you. And for a lot of you, I feel like you're on the other side of it now, where like I said, for a lot of you, this is just like a reflection type of thing where you already have distanced yourself from these people and gone no contact with these people, or set boundaries with them. But for a small percentage of you, I do feel like you might still be like on the fence about it, and this is definitely your confirmation to separate yourself from these people or this person, because you do not deserve the way that they treated you. And this is the cause of your insecurity, the cause of you feeling like, you know, not trusting of people, or feeling like people will just walk out on you, or feeling like people can't just love you unconditionally. It came from this. It came from this person. And the reason why I feel like a lot of this is apparent too is because I feel like you dealt with this for a really long time. Like I feel like you were raised like this was not just like a relationship with somebody that you was with for a year or a couple years. Like I feel like this was literally like at least a decade of you being around this person, and that's why I feel like it's apparent. Like I feel like you had to suffer and endure with this person for a very long time. I feel like you have insecurities around like whether or not you can even have a happy life or a happy relationship or a happy family, because as much as you want it and as genuine hearted of a person that you are, you really do have a hard time believing people. Like, part of the reason why you tend to go for, because I feel like you also tend to go for narcissists and abusers in your romantic relationships, and part of that is because you're so used to it that you feel like when you're dealing with this kind of person, you know what to expect. And that's really sad. Like, you feel more comfortable dealing with someone who's a narcissist or an abuser because you already know what to expect. Whereas when you're dealing with someone that is loving and genuine and caring and compassionate, it just seems, it's like, even though that's what you want, it just seems so foreign to you that you have a hard time trusting it or a hard time believing it. Okay, let's go ahead and look into your clarification cards. So first we have, what is this? The King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, there's definitely masculine energy. So I feel like for a lot of you, this really was your father. Like, I feel like it started with your father. For some of you, it could have been, like I said, for some of you, it is like your mom or like a female ex. But for majority of you all, I feel like it was your father. Okay. Next, we have the Strength card in reverse. And then we have the Nine of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this dealing with this person gave you a lot of anxiety. Okay. I feel like you had a lot of anxiety. I feel like you had a lot of sleepless nights. I feel like you cried yourself to sleep a lot at night. I feel like you were afraid of this person. Like, you were afraid to say, like, I feel like this person had you walking on eggshells to the point where, like, you knew that if you said the wrong thing, that you might get hit, or that you might get threatened to be put out, or that they would lash out at you, or, you know, like, it was that kind of energy. This person may have also had an addiction that you wanted them to overcome, but that if you brought it up or if you tried to help them, they will lash out at you and try to act like they're not addicted, even though it's clear as day that they were addicted to something. I also feel like with this, I definitely am getting with this Strength card, which is a Leo energy reversed. I always think about the ego, and I definitely think this person is a narcissist, whether they've been diagnosed or not. This is giving me like 100% narcissist vibes. And I feel like this person, like I said, they used to hold a lot of things over your head, and they use money to manipulate you as well. I feel like if this was a parent, like, their version of like trying to apologize or trying to soften you up would be to buy you things. And that's also why I feel like for that led to the type of relationship that you attracted as well. You might have attracted partners, romantic partners, that were really abusive, but, you know, at the end of the day, they would pay all of your bills, or they would take you shopping, or they would buy you something really expensive as a way to try to like get you to forgive them or get you to forget about whatever it was that they did to you. Okay. And I feel like for a while you accepted it because, like I said, it was familiar to you. But I think that over time you just started to realize that you wanted better. And so you've been on a journey towards that, which has obviously led you to this reading. And so I'm really proud of you, because I've dealt with the narcissist myself, and I know that it's not easy to separate yourself because of the mind games that they play, and because of the fact that they play on your vulnerability and your compassion and your heart. Like, I know it's not easy to walk away from narcissists. So if you have already walked away from this and separated yourself, and this is just reflection for you at this point, I'm really extremely proud of you. And even if you're someone who is still currently like kind of dealing with this person, but you're thinking about leaving, I'm still proud of you, because for you to even be thinking about leaving means that you recognize that this is not okay and that you don't deserve this. And so I'm really, really, really proud of you. And this is the root cause of your insecurities. Someone who found joy in hurting you and found joy in tearing you down. And it probably, like I said, this person was probably a parent. So, you know, if your parent is treating you like this, how could you develop a strong sense of self? How could you develop a high sense of self-esteem? How could you develop a strong sense of confidence in yourself if from the moment that you came out the womb, you've been told that you weren't shit, or you've been treated like you're not shit? You know, the way for you to overcome this is to separate yourself from this person and to start your journey of healing, to start your journey of acknowledging it. Because I feel like for this group, a lot of you might not talk about it a lot. You try to just keep pushing and just keep trucking on, but you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. You have to acknowledge it, and you have to journal about it, write about it, let it out, cry. I feel like there's a lot of tears with this 10 of Cups in reverse. There's a lot of emotional pain that you've been holding back because you're just trying to just keep going with life. And the reality is that you're never going to heal from this without acknowledging it. There's a lot of emotional pain that you need to release. For some of you, this may even, you may even have health issues or a lot of tightness or tension or soreness in your body because there's so much pain that you're holding on to that you need to release. For some of you, you really need a good cry session. You really need a good cry. You need a good cry. You need to write about it. Like I said, you need to talk about it. For some of you, you may be interested into therapy. For some of you, if you're not necessarily into therapy, you may be into readings. You know, I'm open. This is not me trying to just get your money. Like, this is me serious. Like, I don't even say in readings, I don't recommend you guys to book unless I really feel like you need it, for real. Like, I don't even like reading people that just think of it as entertainment. I genuinely like reading people to help them. And I feel like you all, if you've been thinking about that, or if you're interested in that, I'm definitely open, okay? Like, because I feel like you all really just need to let it out. You need to let it out, and you need to stop running from it and stop ignoring it. Like, I feel like you physically have, like, might have left from the situation already or the relationship already, but emotionally, like, you have not really started healing yet, because you've just been kind of pushing it off, or just swallowing your pain, or just acting like it didn't happen, or just trying to ignore it. And you need to let it go, is what I'm getting. All right, so let's move on to your oracle cards. The first card that you have here is, well, emotional healing. It's safe for you to let go of old emotional pain. By doing so, you allow your heart to mend. So like I said, a lot of you need to really let it go and really open up and talk about it, and cry it out, journal it out. For you all, 2022, I feel like it's going to be about emotional healing. Well, this reading is timeless, but I'm recording it at the end of December 2021, so that's why I said that. But, you know, I feel like for you all, your future, the next 6 months to a year, is definitely about you being on this healing journey, and about you finding yourself and finding happiness. The insecurities that you have, because of the fact that they stem from something so deep, and this root cause is so deep, you're not gonna be able to heal from this overnight. You're not gonna be able to just cry about it one time and all of a sudden, you know, life is just so much greener. This is gonna be a gradual process, and it's gonna be something that you have to commit to, okay? But I see you all healing. Like, I see you healing. I feel like maybe it was this reading or something is gonna give you that final push that you need to be like, you know what? I do want to stop running from this. I do need to journal about it. I do need to cry about it. I do need to talk to somebody. Because it's just like, you also need reminders. You need reminders that you never deserve this, and that this person was wrong. Because that's the thing about a narcissist, that they will never admit to how wrong they were. They will never admit to the hurt that they've done. They will never admit that they took joy in hurting you, even though it was fucking obvious. They will never admit that they lied to you. They will never admit that they gaslit you. They will never admit that they're a shitty person. They will never admit that they've been through their own stuff, and they just, instead of healing, they decided to take it out on someone else who happens to be you. They will never admit that. And you all may never get the closure from this person that you need. And so you're going to have to put your healing into your own hands. You're going to have to decide on your own to heal, decide on your own to move on, decide on your own to work on yourself and to better yourself, and to, you know, like I said, get into therapy or talk to someone, book a reading, journal, do your daily affirmation. Like, you're gonna have to make this your business, because this person will probably never admit to everything, all the harm that they've caused you, you know? And as sad as that is, you still have the strength to overcome. You wouldn't have been drawn to this reading if you were just gonna sit there and sulk and just let yourself be a victim, okay? You were drawn to this reading because you want to get over it. You want to heal. And this is your confirmation that you're on the right path in thinking that, and that you're strong enough to do so, okay? So moving on, we have employment change. Your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you to release the old and welcome the new. You are being supported each step of the way. So yeah, for some of you all, like I was saying, I feel like you all have some type of, well, I don't know if I said it or if I just thought it, I don't know. But I feel like you have some type of, there's something that you're passionate about that, like I said, this person might have made you feel like it wasn't possible, or that you weren't smart enough, or that you couldn't do it for whatever reason. And you're finally going to be having the courage as you heal, and as you realize that this person just took joy in trying to tear you down, and that they were lying to you the entire time, that you do have the strength for this. Some of you, this is about going back to school, because you might have never had the opportunity to, because maybe for some of you, I feel like you might have gotten pregnant at a young age. For some of you, I feel like this person refused to do what they needed to do to help you get financial aid, or they just wouldn't let you go to school, or they wouldn't let you pursue the things that you wanted to pursue. And now that you're an adult, now that you have your own freedom and you might be away from this person, now you have the opportunity to pursue these things. So for some of you, like I said, you might want to go back to school. For some of you, you might finally start looking into the career path that you were always interested in. Okay. For some of you, I also feel like you want to move because you might still live near this person, or maybe you just have always wanted to live in a different part of the country or a different state or whatever, a different city. And because of this person, you feel like you couldn't, but now that you're moving away from them, now that you're healing, you finally feel safe enough to do it, and you will get the opportunity to do so, or you'll create the opportunity to do so. Like, even if somebody doesn't just walk up to you and hand you the opportunity, you're gonna have the strength to take it and to make your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull your last oracle card, group number 2. Spirit, what is the root cause of group 2's insecurities and how can they overcome? These readings have been all very emotional and very deep. And I actually relate a little bit to each one, and I'm really, what do I want to say? I'm really proud of everyone. I haven't even gotten to group 3 yet, but I know I'm going to be proud of them too. I'm proud of everyone because I feel like you all, the fact that you're here on my channel means that you are wanting better for yourself and you're going after better for yourself. And for that, I'm just really happy for you and really proud of you. So let's see, your last card here, we have Amisa. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I don't even want to say it wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and just read it from the book. Okay. Nonviolence. You have been observant of how your thoughts affect your actions and how your actions affect the quality of your life. Through actively changing your internal monologue, you are manifesting a heightened state of consciousness and a new paradigm. Continue to fine-tune your inner language to radiate compassion, joy, and peace. Even the most disciplined yogis still often look in the mirror and think negative thoughts about themselves, get frustrated when stuck in traffic, or speak words to a loved one that don't radiate pure love. These moments are your guru, reminding you of where you still need to grow. Overcoming your triggers facilitates growth. Each time you feel the voice of negativity come through, sing back to it words of compassion. You'll quickly find these words echoed back by all those you encounter. So yeah, this is about you all just being a lot kinder to yourself and being a lot nicer to yourself. Because I feel like there's also a part of you that feels like you should be over it already. Because for a lot of you, this was your parents and you're like a very grown adult at this point, and so you feel like you should be over it already. But that's not true. Like, there's no time limit on your healing. There's no set time that you're supposed to be healed by this age. Like, first of all, this is your life and nobody knows what even me, like, I'm reading your life right now and I'm reading energy, but I don't know exactly what happened to you. I don't know exactly what you've been through. Nobody can tell you that you should be healed by now or that you should be over it by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely give yourself kindness, give yourself grace. You're the kind of, like, you're very compassionate towards other people and you're very able to, like, see the best and see the good in other people, but you also need to give that to yourself. Okay, you need to extend that grace and that love and that compassion to yourself, and be patient with yourself, because the kind of stuff that you've been through, you're not gonna heal overnight. Like I said, you need to take just at least the next 6 months to a year being consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna heal from this overnight, and that's okay. There's no rush on this, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna take 6 months to a year for you to see results. You're gonna start to see results as soon as you start your journey, but it just might take 6 months to a year for you to really fully feel like you're over it, or for you to fully feel like you're making progress, and to the point where you don't think about certain things anymore, or that you're able to have a new mindset subconsciously. Because we can consciously sit here and say all day, I'm healed, but your subconscious mind, your inner child, the part of your mind that holds all of your memories and everything that people have said to you, it takes time to transform that part of your mind. And okay, so be patient with yourself and love on yourself. Okay, so that's all I have for you, group 2. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm really proud of you. Please go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can join this community and also not miss out on any more readings from me. And definitely, like I said, I just want to leave you again, just say one more time, love on yourself, be patient with yourself, and be compassionate with yourself. Okay, I love you, group 2. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, group 3. Welcome to your reading. Thank y'all for joining me. So this is going to be, what is the root cause of your insecurities, and of course, how to overcome. So if this is your first time here, I always pre-shuffle the cards, but I don't actually look at them. So we have 2 oracle cards here. We've got 3 tarot cards and then 3 more tarot cards to clarify. Alrighty. And then we're also going to pull one more oracle card together on camera at the end for your final message. So, you know, if you chose the rosemary oil, this is for you. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. All right. So the first card that you have is the 4 of Wands in reverse. Next, you have the Ace of Cups. And you have the 8 of Cups. For this group, I feel like the root of your insecurities is like some type of social or financial status thing. Like I feel like you were, in whatever environment that you were in, particularly in childhood, you were around people like that either had way more money than you or like they had way more status than you in some type of way. And so you were like looked down upon by your peers or by the people around you. This is like a kind of thing where like, let's say that your family was poor, but like you got the opportunity to go to a really good school. And so like all of the kids around you were like rich kids, or even if they weren't rich, like they just had more than you. And so there would be a lot of things that they would talk about that you couldn't relate to, or you might have like, even if you didn't go to like a better school, like even if you just went to a regular public school, like you just might have been like obviously poor, and like maybe you used to have to wear the same stuff to school every day, or you didn't have the resources that other people had, or you didn't have like a lot of the like new phones or new shoes or shit like that. And like people could physically, like could not physically, people could visibly tell that you were just at a poor class financially, and they use this against you and they look down on you because of this. For some of you, it's like a social thing where like you might have been around people whose parents were like really well known or something like that. For some of you, I feel like you might have gone to a public school or some type of school where the children of celebrities went for some reason that's coming through. And like, so you were just always like comparing yourself and being compared to people whose parents were celebrities, or people whose parents did like really high profile type of things, like jobs or whatever. And your parents might have just been normal, regular people who like, for some of you, I feel like your parents might have like worked in fast food or worked in retail or something that's just not like glamorous or whatever. And so there's just been this sense of like always feeling beneath other people. And this is the root cause of your insecurities, because you're really an amazing person, but you feel like there's been a lot of times where you felt like because you didn't have this material thing, or because you didn't know this person, or because you were outcasted from a group or whatever, that you were less than, and that people didn't like you, or that people were not going to accept you, or that you didn't have access to certain opportunities. This might even be that like maybe everyone in your family went to college and like you didn't go for whatever reason. Maybe you couldn't afford it, or maybe you just felt like it wasn't for you. Maybe you were maybe everyone in your family, like your cousins and your siblings always had really good grades, and you were the kid who didn't have good grades. For some of you, this was you like being compared to other students like in your school, I feel like. But for some of you, I feel like this is about you being compared to your siblings, and like you were like the black sheep child, or like the I want to say the mistake child. For some of you, I feel like you're the youngest one in your family, and like maybe your parents thought that they were done having kids, and then they got pregnant with you, and then like they made like once you got here and like as you were growing up, they like made it clear to you that you were like a mistake child. Or maybe you were like the child of like triggering statement here, just a warning. Some of you may be like a product of like rape, or some of you were the product of like someone cheating on their spouse, and you were like a side baby or something. And like just your entire existence has always been like, you've always been made to feel like you were a mistake, or like that you were beneath other people. For some of you, this may be a thing where like you are adopted, and so your foster parents had their own biological parents, and you were always just treated as less than the biological kids. Yeah, there's something here about people just always making you feel like you were less than someone else. And so a lot of your insecurities is like because of that, and because of the fact that there's a part of you that feels like you're just not worthy of, just feeling like you're not worthy of love or of respect or of kindness or even equal treatment. Like I feel like this kind of group, I feel like you all maybe subconsciously without even realizing it, like you expect less in life and you expect people to treat you like crap. So when they do, like, you're not really surprised, because when you were a child you might have expected to be treated equally and fairly, and that didn't happen for you. And so that's just been your reality for so long that now you kind of just assume that people are going to treat you bad, or assume that people don't like you, or assume that you're not going to get an opportunity. And that's like that's the root of your insecurities. It's just your child. All of these have been like childhood different causes, but yeah, for you all, I feel like you just were always treated like you were less than, or like you were a mistake, or like I don't even feel like a burden necessarily. Like I don't feel like a burden energy, but it was just like people just kind of felt like you just always like blended into the background, or people just didn't think you were worthy of like paying attention to, or worthy of going out of their way for. Like people kind of just like you, this gives me the kind of energy where like people just kind of treated you like a pet. Like they just were like, I'm just gonna give you food and shelter and like just enough to survive, and like that's it. I'm not doing anything extra for you because you don't deserve it, or because for some of you it might have just been that you're, like I said, for some of you your family was just poor and they just didn't have it to give. But for a lot of you, I feel like this was like just due to the way that people looked at you, and like I said, for whatever reason, they just felt like you didn't deserve, you know. I'm really sorry that you had to go through this, Pal 3. I also feel like for a lot of you, your life was very unstable. For some of you, you had a parent that was dealing with addictions. And so like life was just very unstable for you. For some of you, like I said, some of you might have been adopted, and like maybe you were like your foster parents and your foster homes were never really stable, and so you always ended up moving from place to place to place. Or for some of you, it might have been like if your family was poor, like you ended up getting evicted a lot, and like your family might have been homeless, and like you guys had to go from place to place to place in that type of way. Okay. I feel like one of the good things about you that's coming through is that, like, even though you've been through all this, I feel like you're a really kind-hearted person, and I feel like you would give somebody the shirt off your back if they needed it. Like, I don't feel like you've allowed what you've been through. I feel like it makes you insecure about yourself and about your self-worth, but I don't feel like it's made you cold or bitter. Like, I feel like you still are a very kind person, and like I said, even if you were poor or even if you didn't have much, I feel like you're still a very generous person, and you still find joy in like giving and helping others. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into your clarification cards. So first you have the Ace of Wands. Next you have the Lovers. And then lastly you have Death in reverse. So just another trigger warning that I'm thinking about. Some of you might have lost your biological parents, and that's why you ended up in the foster system. For some of you, like I said, it may be that your parents were addicted to something, or they were too poor to take care of you. Some of you, like I said, it was a death of parents that caused you to be in like this type of situation. For some of you, that may be also like what made you an outcast is that you didn't have, like, you couldn't relate to the other kids around you because you just didn't have parents. And like, even though people like feel bad for you, they still kind of outcast you about that, because like they may not have had the emotional capacity to understand how you were feeling, or to like they may have like you might have been like depressed because of what you were going through. Like you might have been a depressed child, and because of the fact that people, like kids especially, didn't know how to deal with you, they kind of just avoided talking to you, like just avoided you. And I feel like you spent a lot of time, especially with this photo here, like I feel like you spent a lot of time alone in darkness, like mentally and emotionally. Okay. And for you all, I feel like one of the main things that you're insecure about is just like feeling worthy of things and feeling like people like you. It's like you assume that people don't like you, or you assume that people will see you as a burden, or you assume that like you don't deserve opportunities, or that things can't happen for you because of everything that you've been through. You feel like, well, somebody like me is clearly could never be that, or could never make that much money, or could never try that thing. But I feel like you're very creative. And I also feel like your story is inspirational. And it may not feel like that to you. And that's not saying that you have to look at it like that, but I feel like your strength, you're really strong. Like, you're stronger than you tend to give yourself credit for, especially emotionally. Because I feel like you've been through a lot of things that you might have experienced depression or anxiety before. But I feel like overall, you're still someone who's pretty emotionally balanced, and you're still someone who, like, for everything that you've been through, like, you could easily have, like, again, trigger warning, and I'm about to say something that could be touchy subject. I feel like you're easily someone who could have been suicidal, or who could have chosen to take their own life, or who could have chosen to become bitter and like angry and violent and a lot of things, and you didn't, because that's just not who you are. And as much as you've gone through, like, you still have always been, you've always wanted to be a good person, you've always wanted to be a kind person. And that's not something that you should ignore. That's something that's really beautiful about you. Like I said, it's like your heart, even though your heart hurts and you've been through a lot of pain, like, there's still this essence of purity to you, and this essence of innocence to you, where you really just want to be a good person, and you really just want to help people, and you want to help the world. And I think that you're still going to do that. You just have to believe in yourself. For you, what I see, the way for you to overcome is to, like, start enjoying being by yourself. And to not, there's two things. It's like, part of you have to start enjoying being by yourself, because I feel like you've always been kind of forced to be by yourself. Like, I feel like you've always wanted to feel like you were part of a family, or to feel like you were part of a friend group or a social group, and you might have been rejected or isolated as a child. And so you've always looked at your aloneness, because I don't think it's loneliness, but I think you've always looked at your aloneness as something that's negative. But I think that looking at it as a positive thing will help you to overcome your insecurities, because you're actually very independent. I feel like because of this, because of the way that you grew up, you became really good at being independent. You became really good at doing things for yourself and figuring out how to do things. I feel like you're also very innovative and resourceful. This kind of gives me Aquarius energy. I feel like you're very innovative and resourceful, because you just been through so many times where, like, you didn't have much to work with, or you didn't have anyone to talk to or to be around you. And so it made you very resilient, very resourceful, and very independent, and very innovative. And I feel like these things are tools that you have, skills that you have, that will help you along your journey. I feel like also, in order for you to overcome your insecurities, you have to let go of caring about people's opinions. And I know that's something that's a lot easier said than done. But, you know, the common theme in all of these readings today has been that the root cause of everyone's insecurities has come from how someone treated them as a child, or how someone else's opinion of them impacted them. And the common theme in terms of overcoming all of the insecurities and the pain has been to let it go, and to release, and to be honest with yourself about what you've been through and how you feel, and not ignore it, but also choose to let it go, choose to release it, and choose to accept that you can have a fresh start, and accept that, like, these people were wrong about you. They were wrong to have treated you the way that they did, and they were wrong to have looked at you the way that they did. They were wrong to have talked down on you, or talked negatively to you, or to make you feel like you were undeserving, or that you were a burden, or, you know, someone that they didn't want to be around. And you have to start allowing yourself to believe that you deserve to be here, to believe that you impact the world in a positive way, okay? You also have to believe, like, I feel like this group, you also need to believe that stability is a real, like, you can have stability, you can have a stable life. Okay, I also feel like you need to accept the fact that there are people out there that love you, and there's people that do want to be your friend, and that do want to be around you, and that do want to hear your story, and that do want to love you. Because I feel like with this group, it's like you just have always assumed. You do a lot of assuming. You don't even really give people a chance before you assume that they don't like you, or that they're looking down on you, or that they're talking about you, or that they have like negative intentions for you. But these are assumptions. A lot of times they're assumptions. Your sense of intuition, I feel like, is clouded by your past. Like, you do give me like a very intuitive person, but I feel like your intuition is just clouded because you've been through so much that it's like, it's hard for you to discern between what's your intuition and what's fear. And that's why you tend to assume a lot of things. And you also have felt very limited in life, and part of you overcoming that is to push yourself out of the box that you think you've been placed in. Push yourself out of the box of allowing your financial status or your social status or the fact that you're an orphan or anything like that to define who you are. Just because you might have been poor, or just because you might have been an orphan, or just because you were adopted, or just because people outcast you as a child, doesn't mean that that story has to be your story for your entire life. That doesn't mean that that part of your life defines who you are as a person. And you have to really start working hard to convince yourself of that. All the groups today I've recommended, like either booking personal readings. It doesn't even have to be with me. Like, this is not even about me trying to get some money. Like, it don't even got to be with me. It could be somebody else. But, you know, booking personal readings or going to therapy, definitely journaling, definitely doing daily affirmations. All the groups I've recommended to take at the very least 6 months to a year to really allow yourself to heal, to really be committed to your healing, okay? Because I feel like you've been through what you've been through. It's gonna take time to unravel. It's gonna take time to undo the damage that was done mentally for you and emotionally. So let's look into your oracle cards. The first card that you have is you are healed. The healing you prayed for is on its way. So like I said, yeah, it's time to take time to heal and to really stick to this journey and to be committed to it. For you all, I feel like you already started this, and this is like confirmation to you that you're on the right path and that you're doing the right things. I feel like for some of you, I feel like you already have been journaling and doing daily affirmations. I feel like you've already been doing that. And so I'm really proud of you. And it's working. It's definitely working, okay? Like I said, this is not something that can be undone, overnight, but you're definitely on your way. You're definitely on your journey. And I see you developing a deeper relationship with yourself and focusing solely on yourself. I feel like you've always allowed, whether you like meant to or not, you've always allowed other people to determine your worth, and you always like allow other people to decide what you're worthy of. And I think you're going to stop asking other people, and you're going to stop assuming and stop caring about what they think you deserve or what they think you're worthy of or what their opinion of you is. You've always been seeking approval, I feel like. And I feel like one of the ways that you're going to overcome your insecurities is to stop seeking approval and to just realize that it doesn't fucking matter whether or not anybody else approves of you. The universe approves of you. God approves of you. Your creator put you here, so your creator approves of you. And that's all you need. All you need is to approve of yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's in control of your life. You're the one that's in control of your emotions. You're the one that's in control of your decisions. So you have to walk away from thinking that you need other people's approval to do something for yourself, or to be here, or to take up space. Like I feel like you walk around thinking that you don't deserve to take up space. Like, you're the kind of person where, like, if you could be standing somewhere and, like, if someone else is walking down the street, when really they should say, excuse me, and, like, ask you to move, you will just see them and you'll just move on your own because you feel like they're more entitled to walk in that space than you are, even though you were there first. Or like you're the kind of person where like if you're standing in a line and someone cuts you in line, you just let them and you don't say anything because you feel like, well, they can be there. It's fine. No, it's not fucking fine. You were here first and you deserve to take up space and they need to get to the fucking back. Like, you also, I feel like a part of you overcoming your insecurities will be when you learn how to say shit with your chest. Okay? Because I feel like a lot of times when you were a kid, like people, you would try to stand up for yourself and people would use things to tell you that you didn't have the right to do that. Like, for example, like I said, if you were someone who was adopted, like you might have, if your foster parents tried treating you like crap, they might have used, well, you can't say that because we don't have to let you be here, or we're helping you, or something like that. And like, so you just kind of stopped trying to defend yourself and you just started like accepting whatever was given to you, whatever crumbs were given to you. And I feel like part of you overcoming your insecurities is going to be realizing like that you do deserve to ask for what you want. You deserve to, you know, set standards and tell people how you want to be treated, and set boundaries for how you want to be treated. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to be here. You deserve to share your thoughts, your opinions. You deserve to go after what you want in life. You deserve stability. You deserve a good job. You deserve to make money. You deserve everything. Like, I feel like for you all, your biggest thing is like deservingness. And like I said, because of whatever situation you were born into or whatever happened with your upbringing, people making you feel like you just had to take scraps. Okay, for some of you it could have been because you've just been poor for so long, and maybe you did at one point depend on scraps or people's hand-me-downs and things like that, but that doesn't have to be your reality for the rest of your life. Like, it's okay for you to want more. It's okay for you to expect more. It's okay for you to go after more. All right, your next card, we have Bountiful Nature. Spending time in nature helps shift you to a higher vibration and reminds you of God's infinite abundance. Go outside and enjoy a walk or hike with your pet, meditate beneath a tree, garden, sit under the stars, or do some other activity to connect with a limitless vastness. So again, it's like you all, one of your biggest insecurities is like just feeling limited and feeling like lack and feeling like you're just meant to be poor your whole life, or just meant to be like a nobody, or meant to be someone who doesn't have access to certain things. And that's really not true. And I do feel like this group, spending time in nature helps you to, like, your mind is a lot clearer when you're in nature, when you're outside, or when you're spending time with animals, or just in like open space. I feel like this group, you have a, maybe without even realizing it, I feel like you have a large aura. And so when you spend a lot of time inside, it ends up making you feel stressed and kind of like contained. I also feel like this group has a lot of energy, and you may find that exercising and moving your body is like very meditative for you. I feel like this might be the kind of people who don't like to sit down and just close your eyes and meditate. You might like taking walks, or you might like riding a bike, exercising, or just anything where you're moving your body. I feel like those things allow you to go into a meditative state, and you should take more advantage of that and get into that more. All right, so let's look at your last oracle card. Spirit, what is the root cause of group 3's insecurities, and how can they overcome them? All right. So we have Ajna. All right, so let's go ahead and read this card out of the book. You have been using your sixth sense recently, your intuitive powerhouse, the third eye, and it is guiding you in the right direction. Your third eye sees far beyond your two eyes and the limitations of your mind, which can only dream up what is known. Your intuition speaks to you in whispers, in visions, and feelings. Find the language of your third eye and continue to follow its hunches as you have been. The more you become aware of it, the easier this dialogue becomes. Your third eye is taking you on the very journey that your soul was put on this planet to fulfill. You came here to live, love, and learn. As long as you continue viewing the world from your third eye, you will surpass all limitations and find yourself limitless. Trust your intuition and keep moving forward. The path will continue to illuminate as you take the steps. So yeah, I feel like you all are, one of your biggest insecurities is, like I said, is like a lack mindset or a limited mindset, or feeling like you don't deserve things, or that like your past causes you to be more limited than you really are. And the way to overcome this is to trust your intuition, to trust your feelings, to trust what you're guided to. Like I said, you all definitely want to pursue something. You want to pursue something that's bigger than what you've had in the past. You want to explore different parts of yourself, different talents, different creative things in different parts of the world that you've never explored before. And the way to overcome is to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, and to allow yourself to take that path, to allow yourself to see beyond, you know, what people say you can do or what you even think you could do. You know, like there was a time a couple years ago, I never saw myself doing tarot readings. This happened by just me being intuitive, by me just following the things that I felt like called to do. And now here I am. And you can have a similar experience by trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. I already see you as a spiritual person. I feel like you're someone who already is on your spiritual journey and you're already healing a lot. Like I said, you might already be journaling and daily affirmationing. I feel like you're already taking the steps. So at this point, this is really just confirmation for you to keep going, group 3. I feel like you all are like the most advanced in terms of like actually going on your healing journey already. So definitely keep going, group 3. That is all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please go ahead and give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can join this community and also not miss out on any readings that I do in the future. Again, I'm very proud of you, and I just want to tell you to stay committed to your journey and to keep going, to keep trusting yourself. Okay, thank you so much, group 3, for watching. I love y'all. Bye.